What's going on, guys? Arden here. I'm back with another video, and I apologize. I'm on my phone. Once again, I left my camera SD card at home and I'm at my garage, so I'm not going to go get it while I'm doing this. But this is going to be a dash cam install on a 2024 Volkswagen Atlas. It's one of the new Atlas Cross Sports. I think it's a 24 or 25, something like that. Let me show you what kind of dash cam we got. So this is the Redtiger F7NP. I don't know anything about this, so just to make that clear, I don't know anything about this product. I'm also not a shop. I don't install these on the regular, so I just have to preface that because I've done a lot of audio install videos in the past, and I get tons of comments saying, oh, you did this wrong, you got the wrong subs, you got the wrong amp, you shouldn't have done it this way. I'm tired of getting comments like that. I'm not a shop. I don't do this professionally. I'm just going to install this and I'm going to show you how I did it. So we'll just get that out of the way. I don't know anything about this. I want to say there is a front and rear dash cam on this, which means we will have to mount it on this. I'm assuming the back glass would probably be the best place to put it, and then run the wires all the way to the front and then install the other piece, the other camera on the windshield up there. I do know these Atlases because I'm a window tinter, so I see a lot of different cars. I do know these have a USB-C plug right there in the side of the mirror. I can't get my phone to focus, but so I'm kind of hoping I get to use that. That would be really cool. But let's get this kit opened and just see what is in this. Okay, we've got her open here. Let's pull some of this stuff out. I'm assuming this will be camera. Sorry, I'm trying to do this one-handed. So this will be camera. I'm assuming this will probably be the front camera. I'm actually not even positive that there is a rear one. I'm just, like I said, I don't know anything about this product. So there's that. Comes with a suction cup mount, which I am kind of glad because, like I said, I'm a window tinter and this is my boss's car. Don't know if I mentioned that or not, but I do know the windshield is tinted, and this will be way better than you know, having some sticky tape or anything like that. So let's dig into this. I'm assuming this will be instructions and all that good stuff. We don't need that where we're going. Now we got this. So we got, yes, there is a rear camera. So we will have to figure that out. I'm assuming it will probably just connect to this one. There's a port there, it says AV in and a USB-C. There's that. And then there is a cigarette lighter, and they actually give you a trim tool, which is very nice. I've got a set of trim tools, and then looks like some sticky tape mounts. I'm assuming will be for wiring, to loop the wire in there and stick it to something. We probably won't be needing those. I'll be running all of the wires like underneath paneling and stuff, so that way it's a nice clean install. But I think what we're going to do first is I want to get this all out and just make sure I know how all this is going to go together and flow. Okay, got everything unboxed here and taken apart. So like I said, this will be the mount for the camera. It's got some plugs in this little in this mount here. I'm not sure what that is about because there's no like cable that goes into this. So I'm not sure. It says GPS on it, so I'm assuming this may be a like a GPS like tracker or sensor or whatever, so it will tell you like where you're at, and it'll obviously get the power from the camera with it being plugged in. Pretty much how this thing works is you have a USB-C right here that will go into your power source, which will be either this car charger, or I'm going to see if I have a USB-C that I can plug into that thing in the mirror, which will make this really, really clean and will make this be super easy, and it'll make it look a lot cleaner. So I'm gonna see if I can do that. If not, I will go find one. But so that will mount there, and then this will go into the AVN once I get this all ran. Pretty much what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start with the rear, get this thing mounted, and then get this wire ran all the way to the front, which is a process. But I'm thinking what I'm going to do is, obviously we will mount it right here on the rear window, probably about as high as I can get it. I'm going to take this panel off right here. Like I said, I'm a window tinter, so I'm pretty good at taking panels off. The way we tint is we take door panels off of cars, so I know how all this stuff pretty much comes off and apart. Pretty good at stuff like that. I'm gonna take this panel off. We're gonna try to run the wire through here. If you've ever done this before, it is a royal pain in the butt to try to do, but that is the only way you can get a good install and where the wire is not damaged. A good rule of thumb is to always run any type of wiring with the factory wiring. So if you're running a backup camera underneath the car, like on an older car that doesn't have one, find some factory wiring along the underside of the car and run your wire with that. So I'm going to get this trim panel off, and then work on getting it mounted and get the wire ran through there. Okay, so I'm gonna get ready and take this trim panel off. I've got a tool here, and this back window is tinted, so you know, obviously I'm gonna try to be careful. I'll stick it in here, and pretty much I'm just gonna grab it and just pull it a little bit. These have these metal clips that are really kind of flimsy. They will stay in the car a lot of times. Like that. You can see these little metal clips here. They slide out of this, and sometimes when you're pulling this panel off, it will come out and stay in these holes, like right here. So be sure to get those out for obvious reasons. I know a lot of people will not. So we got that trim panel off. So now we're going to get a good look at what we got going on here. Okay, now let's take a look and see what we got. So we got a couple options here. Obviously mount it on the glass, and then I believe what I'm going to do is probably go through this side right here. So there's two holes pretty much where these line up. There'll be this hole and then this hole. So this one looks like it has a bunch of plugs here. I think there's a little tab right here that I could probably pull this little box out, but I don't think that will be the best option. I think I'm just going to go through here. This is just a wide open hole, and I'll be able to feed it through here, and then I'm going to go around take my wires to the passenger side and run it up that way. Pretty much just keeping it in the headliner up top here. So I think that will be my best option here, mainly because the camera plug and everything is going to be on the passenger side. So I think it'll just make it easier. So this back camera mounts with sticky tape, which I don't really like, but I mean, is what it is because this is tinted. And anytime if you want to take this off, because say you don't like this camera, or say you're getting rid of the car, you're going to have to redo this tint, because it's going to either yank it off, or it's going to leave a lot of glue residue that you're not going to be able to get off the tint without messing the tint up. So kind of is what it is. But I think what I'm going to do is actually shut the tailgate here and sit down in the back of this thing so I can get a good angle of how this is going to go. I'm assuming this probably spins. Yes, it does. So I just want to make sure I'm getting it. I don't want to put it on and it be like backwards or upside down or something, because that's how my luck goes. But I'm going to sit down in here, get this mounted. I probably won't show you that process, but pretty self-explanatory. Okay, be sure to clean, the surface that you're mounting to. Got it mounted up here. It's looking pretty good. I believe that will be out of the way and everything. So now I'm going to get this grommet thing pulled out, get both sides pulled out, and then I will probably run, just because this unplugs from the camera, I will probably just run this up through this way, you know, like that, because I think that will be the shortest way to get this up front. So this is going to be the most time consuming process of this whole entire thing. So yeah, this will be the fun part of trying to get all this in here. Okay, so I've got the headliner pulled down here. As you can see, it's going to be the same clips that was on this panel up here. And then you can see where both of these wires come down right here. So I'm gonna just kind of fill up in here. I'm hoping this just kind of pops out. I'm not exactly sure how it's going to come out. I'm sure it's not just a rubber grommet. As you can see, there's a little white piece. It's probably a plastic piece that will need to unclip and pull down, and then pull this one up. So I'm not exactly sure how it's going to work. I can't really see down in there right now, and I can't get my finger that far down there either. But once I figure it out, I will let you know, and I will get a quick little snippet of how this comes out. Okay, I got both popped loose here. I'm not exactly sure how it pops out. Like, as you can see, there's a little lip there on the left side, and on this side there's kind of an open hole. I'm almost positive it just broke on me. So I'm not exactly sure how it comes out, because it's like this on both of them. I just kind of pried it, but yeah, I don't see any like little broken white bits down here, and I couldn't feel anything, you know, up through these holes. So I'm hoping it, I mean, I'm almost positive that, yeah, that I did break it. If you can see that, I think it just kind of snapped off. So I guess be a little careful when you're doing this. I wasn't sure how it comes off or anything, but I'm pretty sure it will be fine, and it will just clip back in place. So now what I'm going to do is feed this yellow part, because that's what plugs in here to the camera. I'm gonna feed that up through the top here and try to get it through this little rubber piece. Like I said before, if you have ever done this, it is a royal pain in the butt. But from what I can tell, going on this side of the vehicle is actually probably a better move, because it looks like there's not as many wires coming through this side that there is this side. Because if I had to guess, this whole bundle is coming through here on this one, and it feels super thick, and this has a little more room. So maybe this will be a lot easier going through this side. Okay, that was way easier than I thought it would be. So all I did was I took a piece of a coat hanger. This is actually what we had laying around in the garage. Got some tape. I would probably recommend some electrical tape, because I think that will stick to this a little better. And then just did this, taped the two wires together, and then just shoved it through with the coat hanger, grab the end of the coat hanger, and then pull it all the way through. And then that was pretty much it. So now I've got it plugged into the camera. I did kind of mess up though, and I put it on the coat hanger before I put it through the headliner. So now I've got to run all of this wire down through the headliner, which is no big deal, because I've got it through this. This is all I really needed, and it is up through the hole here. So all I need to do is get this fed through here, pull everything tight to where it's not, I don't have any loose wires, just like this, because I don't want to just bundle these up and just like shove it under here. So I'm going to run all this down through here and then get this all buttoned up. Okay, like I said before, you know, I do think I broke this a little bit. You can see it's kind of sagging down a little. I do think it'll be fine. This is doing the same thing, you know. I do think it will be okay though. But I've got all the wire ran through. It's coming out through the hole in the top of the headliner here. So now this is kind of just the time consuming part. We're gonna get this wire just ran to the front of the car. I'm pretty much just gonna try to keep it in the headliner and keep it close here to where I can just kind of shove it up in there and run it all the way to the front. All right, I went ahead and put this panel back on. As you can see, we got a nice looking install going here. Barely see a wire tucked under here. Also, make sure you zip tie everything up. That way you don't have loose wires just bouncing around. So that's all in, ready to go. We're done with the hatch part. That's actually the part I thought that was going to be bad, was sticking it through this. But that actually was very easy. Every time I've done this on other cars, that has been a process, but good to go, mounted up. Now we just need to go through the interior of the car. Okay, time to give you an update. So I've got it ran right through here, as you can see. Pretty much all I did was tuck it through the headliner right here. And then I would say the easiest way to do this is to take your little trim, your pry tool here, pry this open a little bit. That way you can get access under there, and then just kind of push the wire in there. Once you get it around this corner of where this headliner is here, it's not too bad. I can't really get a good visual on it right now. Once you get it past there, then you can tuck it in that little seam right there, which is what I've done. It's pretty easy to just take your pry tool and just like shove it in there like that. But I've got, as you can see, I've got the wire up till there, right there where the door is, and then we will figure that out. So pretty much what I'm gonna do now is get this all put back together. Like, as you can see, it's kind of out of the weather stripping here. Same with this little piece of this panel. So we're gonna get this all tucked back and pop our clips back in, because you don't want to forget to just pop all this back together. That way it looks like you haven't even been here. So we're gonna get this all buttoned up, and then we'll show you kind of what I'm gonna do right here once to get it forward. So we got everything ran through here from the back. So we have gotten to this point here, and it's pretty much all just the same thing. We went from this trim piece to the headliner. Now we're gonna start stuffing it in the headliner until we get to this piece here, and then it's the same thing. Go across this plastic trim piece right here, and then we'll go down the headliner again. And then once we get to there, then we got to go across to the center of the mirror. But we'll cross that bridge once we get there. Okay, so we got her run through the headliner here, running across here, and then we got it buttoned up around through here and got her started through this trim piece. It's pretty much just a time-consuming process just to try to run the wire to the front of just, you know, tucking it behind these trim panels and stuff. But now we just need to get the headliner back in, because as you can see, it's kind of folded up and everything. Get the headliner back in, and then we're done on this section. Pretty much just take it section at a time. You know, here I am at the back door. I'd start on the front door, then we'll start up front at the windshield. But like I said, everything in the back is buttoned up. Just take it a little at a time. That way you don't have to go like back through and double check yourself. Just take it a little at a time. Okay, so we're pretty much up front now. Got all of this, you know, to still tuck back in. I'll do that once I'm starting across. I'll fix all of this up. Got it right here. So now what we're gonna do is go across the top of the headliner, and then I'm actually gonna take this plastic piece off here, take the mirror off probably, and then I've got the camera here, and I'm just gonna mount it directly underneath, right like this. So I do believe I know how this comes apart. So it splits in the middle, and you'll take this piece off first, and then the mirror should be a just twist off style. But first, what we need to think about here is I have a lot of extra wire here that will probably not be needed. So we need to figure out what we need to do with that first. Whether it's shove the rest of it in the headliner, or zip tie underneath this if there's any room, or we can put a bunch down in this pillar here. So we got a few different options. Probably what I'm going to do is end up just putting it up in the headliner, zip tie it all up and put it in the headliner, somewhere up in here. That way I don't have to, like, if I start putting it down in here, I'm going to have to like pull some up and try to get my alignment, everything right. So we're going to get this going up in the headliner, fix all this, because the headliner is still kind of sticking out a little, and then get this mirror apart. Okay, so I got it all ran into the headliner. I apologize I didn't get a video of taking this apart. So pretty much you have, these two pieces here that surround the mirror. Let me get it kind of lined up how it's supposed to go. So these two pieces go together like this. Right, so pretty much you just have to pry them apart this way, and that is essentially it. And then once you get there, what I did to get this down is I took my trim tool and put it up here on this side and just kind of pried down a little bit, and it just popped down. I'm not going to take it all the way off. I think it's still somewhat on there, but this gives me enough room to where I can drop it down in there. So now what I'm going to do is get my length of my cable, because obviously I don't need this much of this cable. And there's a good little hole up here where I can put all that wire. I'm going to get it all nice and bundled up, and then put it all up in there, bundle it all down, and then we'll be good to go. Like I said, this has a USB-C right here. I'm going to see if I have a cable, instead of me having to run the wire for the power for all this into a cigarette lighter of some sort, wherever there is one on this car, because I don't even see one right here. So it's either underneath or in the console. Instead of having to run another wire, I'm just going to go straight into that. So that will make it really nice and easy. I don't know how exactly I'm going to make the wire, come out. But I think there might be enough room around where this goes together, around the circular part right here, to where I can get the cable to come out of that. And if I can do that, this will be a very, very clean looking install. But I'm going to come up with a plan, and then I may just show you what I did. But we're going to get this all together, and then pretty much show you what I got. I may not get it all together, but I'll show you roundabout, when I have it together. All right, let me show you what I did with my extra cable. So I've got it like this. That should be enough that I need poking out there. If you can see my bundle of wires, I've got it stuck above this little module right here, in a perfect little spot, kind of up in the headliner, kind of not. I don't think we will get any noise or anything like that coming from there. So now I'm just needing to mount this and get the power wire. So now I need to find a USB-C that's fairly small. That is, maybe a foot or less long, in order to run the power wire from there to the side of here. But I'm not sure if I have that here. or not, but I'm gonna do some digging and see if I've got something, because this will just make it a lot cleaner, and it'll also make it easier on me. So we will see how that goes and see if I've got one. Okay, I found a cord. It's a little longer than I'd hoped. Let me step out here. I don't know, it's maybe three feet long. I was hoping I could find one that was a little shorter, maybe like 1 foot. That way I wouldn't have to like try to tuck a bunch up in here again. But this will do. This is all I had. If you wanted to, you could prepare and actually order like a 1 foot cord or something. But I wasn't prepared. I was hoping it would have a cord or the cigarette lighter, but you don't get the option with this one. They only give you the cigarette lighter. So I'm gonna get this put in, get this wired in, and kind of poke it down in there, get it plugged into the side of this, and then get this all back together, hopefully very easily. All right, well, this absolutely stinks. So I got it plugged in here. Sorry, this is actually like a few weeks later because I realized this is not gonna work. So plugged in up here, and just into the camera. I've got it just sitting down here. We're gonna turn the vehicle on. Actually, no key detected. Oh. Okay, key in here now. We're gonna turn the vehicle on right here. You see I'm plugged in. And I have no power to it. So unfortunately that is not gonna work. I've tried different cords and everything, but that is not gonna work. Now, this car does not have a cigarette lighter, so what we're gonna have to do is hardwire it in, which I have ordered the kit for here to have it hardwired in. Now what this does is it goes into your fuse box with, I believe they call it like an inline fuse. I will get this out and show you a little bit more about that here in a second. But essentially this is just gonna give it power anytime the car is on. I usually recommend this because then you don't give up a cigarette lighter plug-in, but with this car it doesn't really matter because it doesn't have a cigarette lighter plug-in anyway. So let me get this unboxed and I will show you pretty much what this is and how this works. Okay, so here's everything unboxed. So this is going to be your main harness. We'll get into that a little later. And then they give you all these little fuse adapters. I think these are called like inline fuses. So essentially what they do, let me grab one out. So here's one out. So essentially what you do is obviously this will go into your fuse box. And you already have a fuse in there. You'll replace your existing fuse and put it in this hole right here. And then you plug in whatever we're trying to powering into that wire right there. So we'll be plugging the camera into this. And essentially what you're doing is just getting power from the fuse box in order to power it, which is where this will come into play. So this is the harness to power it. I'm not going to dig all that out just yet. I'll just show you the little wiring, the diagram here. So this is what you have. You'll have the power. This will plug into the camera and then goes into this little, I guess, commander box type thing, whatever you want to call it. It says hardware kit switch, I think is what that is called. Yep. And then you'll have 3 wires coming off of it. So the red one, as you can probably read here, it says red wire to accessory. So this will go on whatever power that will be on when you push the on button, pretty much. And then obviously your black will be a ground of any sort. And then you'll have this yellow one, which will go on to a power wire or the battery to have power all the time. So it's pretty self-explanatory. It's not very hard to install. These actually come with these little plugs like this, if I can get that to focus, which will plug into the harness here, if you can see those 2 plugs. So you don't have to really wire anything. You're not having to cut any wires. The only thing you really will be doing we'll be doing this ground. So hopefully we can get in there and find an existing ground and just wire it in there. I really like to find like a factory ground that has just a bolt into the body. You can just take out that bolt, add your wire on there, and then put the bolt back in. It just makes it nice and simple. You're not having to drill into anything or whatever, or splice into any wires or anything like that. So hopefully that's what we can find, but let's get started into this whole process. Okay, so I've got, right here is the fuse box underneath the driver's side. This little access panel right here just pops off. It's pretty simple, just grab it. I also took off the underside little tray. There's just a few T20 bolts. You can see it over there. Just so I could have a little more access, and I actually wanted to see if I could find a ground or anything underneath here. I'm not seeing anything, which kind of stinks, so I got to find a solution for that. But I did find on a forum, as you can see, there's some of these that are blank. If you see in the top right there, these up here, you see there's no little metal pins or anything in there, and some of them have them. So I'll leave a picture of this diagram up on the screen for a few. Some of them will have power constantly, and some will have power when it's switched on. I'll leave the diagram up right now, and you can just pause the video there and check out that diagram. So obviously you want to put in like your red wire to one that is based on a switch, and one that is unswitched will be the yellow wire. And then we need to find a solution for the ground, where we need to put that at. And then all it is just running the wires up there to the camera, which will be right there underneath the mirror. So let's get started on running the wires. I'm probably going to go ahead and mount the camera and start running the wires down here. Okay, lots of progress. We got it plugged in, and we also have our power wire ran up through the headliner, and then so far just to here. It's kind of a pain in the butt to get it around this this A-pillar. As you can see, I kind of got it popped out a little right now. I'm going to get the wire past this A-pillar, and then what I'm probably going to do is button all this up and get the camera mounted, so that is just done and back together. I don't have to worry about that other than getting all this wired into the fuse box. Still haven't figured anything out about the ground wire. I'm pretty much going to figure that out when we get there. But so far so good. We're just running the wires right now and getting everything nice and tightened up and buttoned up for now. So going smoothly. Kind of sucks that I couldn't just use that plug that's in the side of the mirror piece right there, but it is what it is. Okay, so you saw it halfway through the pillar. I've got it all tucked in the pillar, and I actually took off the little side panels here to give me a little access, because now I have a good spot. I can put this little box. I don't have it fished in there yet, but pretty much, you know, this panel sits like so. I started on the bottom and popped this guy out. Once you get this first clip out, it's pretty simple. You can just pull it and get it out. And then this panel sits right here. Same thing, same deal. It kind of sits in sideways on this top, as you can see that with that there, and same on the bottom. It fits in like down in this way. Pretty simple to get out. But now all I have to do is I can grab this wire up through the fuse box hole and fish this in there like so. Now I have a nice clean install. Can't even see any of the wiring. So that worked out great. I'm gonna find out a plan for this ground now. Now it's looking like I've got a good spot maybe. I need to see what this bolt is for. I maybe could put it on here for a good ground. You know, just mount this onto this bolt here, unscrew this, and then just screw it back in. Thinking that may be a good option now that I have this off and have access. So that may be what I'm going to try to do, and hopefully I got a good ground. But we're going to get this all unbundled, and then find a spot in here for the fuse, in the fuse box for my wires, and then I'm gonna try to do that ground. Okay, so I've got everything kind of plugged up. Let me show you what I got. So you can see I used the bigger fuses, the one on the very bottom and also the one on the very top there. If you can see that. They're just open slots, you know. And then I've got the yellow one going in the top one, and then the red one going into the bottom one. And then also I figured out, took those two bolts out right there, and there's actually like kind of a big hole there. Like these bolts aren't threaded into this piece. So I think if I tried to put the ground there, it would end up just falling through. So there's actually a T20 bit right up here. I've kind of got it halfway out. I've already tested this piece of metal right here and tested up top to see if I could get a good ground, and I can. So I'm gonna put the ground on there and then bolt that up. And then I'm pretty much just gonna test it before I get all this back together to make sure it works. You know, I'm gonna start the car, turn it off, get out, make sure it turns off, all that good stuff. I probably won't show that process because that's kind of a boring, you know, just make sure it works process. But I may show you it like once I'm fully finished and everything. But yeah, we're getting close. We're just gonna put the ground on and then test it. Okay, everything is on. I have my ground, you know, bolted in here right here. As you can see, it's showing 12 volts. You know, it's upside down, but showing 12 volts on the little gauge here. I'm gonna move these so I don't step on them, break anything. So I'm gonna get in. Key is in my pocket. Getting in. It is not on. I'm going to start the vehicle. And it's not turning on automatically. There's a power button though. Okay, so this took some time to figure out on which fuses I needed to use. So the one up top there is my yellow wire, as you can see there. That is in fuse number F29. You can kind of see in between the fuses there's a little number. It's in F29, which I believe is just like a towing package fuse. So I tried what I saw online with those empty fuses. I was like, oh, if I can just use an empty one, I don't have to pull out an existing one. Well, that did not work. So you do have to use an existing one. So the top one there on F29 I use for my yellow wire. Seems to work great. And then also the one going up and down right here, I believe it is F52. It is like the only one that is the opposite direction of the rest of the fuses. So if that helps identify it, I use for my red wire. And that seems to make it function right, where you get in, turn the vehicle on, and then the camera turns on, and then get out of the vehicle, turn it off, and the camera will go off. So got everything functioning right as we needed. Took a while to figure out, especially on these fuses, because I could not figure out, like, for the life of me. I was like, why isn't some of these working? Sometimes the camera would stay on, sometimes the camera wouldn't come on at all. So it took a little finessing and figuring out, but I believe I've got the right combo here. So now all I need to do is just button everything up. So I need to get this side panel on, the bottom panel on, the fuse panel back on, and also the mirror back on. And then I'm done and good to go. So I'll show you everything once it's back together. Obviously, you probably don't want to see me put all this back together because that's kind of boring. Okay, so I apologize. It's actually the next morning. I had some things I needed to get to. But as you can see, it is all working. You can see the top left is the rear facing camera. You know, see it's facing my garage door. And then also the front facing camera is working. So I think it's pretty good install. You know, it's coming out of the holes in there. Didn't have to like drill anything out or anything. Pretty clean install. You know, it's like barely below the mirror. It sucks, you kind of have to put it a little lower because of the little GPS thing. This little square piece right here is the locking mechanism. It turns to lock the suction cup in. But yeah, there it is. There's not really much to it. It's recording. It came with an SD card in it, so that is nice. But yeah, so it's recording front and back. You have an option. You can go to the menu here and go to playback, and then also a bunch of settings that you can adjust, you know, to your liking and everything. It's not touchscreen. I did realize that. I was sitting there tapping it and I was like, why isn't this thing working? But so back to the video. You can do like hook it to Wi-Fi somehow. Haven't done that. Like I said, this isn't my car, so I was just gonna get the settings to get it working, get the date and time and all that set up. I apologize, it's early in the morning. But yeah, there's your install. This is on a Volkswagen Atlas, a 2024. Wasn't too bad to do, but it did kind of suck that I had to wait a little bit to get the Hardwire kit, because this car doesn't have a cigarette lighter for one, and that plug up there it wouldn't power it for some reason, which kind of sucks, but is what it is. We got it all figured out, got it hardwired in. But yeah, if you have any questions about this, just leave them in the comments. I'll get to all of them. But yeah, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see y'all in the next one.